Welcome to the Marriage Puzzle Podcast with Julie and Thomas Hobby. We are marriage coaches who help couples with pain points about money, intimacy, and communication go from being overwhelmed to being secure in their marriage.
If this is your first time listening to us, thanks for checking out our podcast. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and a review. Let's dive into this episode.
Hey everyone, you get just me on today's episode, but I wanted to tell you I did a big thing the other night and I got gas in my own car. It makes me sound bougie to say that, but I realized Thomas gets gas for me like more often than not, and it's just such a nice thing that he does for me, so I don't have to specifically at night like I had to this week, but I think it's easy because we have two vehicles, but we don't have the typical his car and her car that maybe most couples do. We more so have a family car that has all the car seats for the kids, and then we have another one that whoever doesn't have the kids and they're just going to work or somewhere separately, they drive that car. So we're able to switch a lot, which helps him be able to take care of putting gas in the car, and so that I don't have to even think about it until I was driving, and I wouldn't even made it home that night if I didn't stop at a gas station and put my own gas in the car. And it's kind of funny to say that, but it's just something that we all know that we need to do. It's something that we all take care of our own vehicles and put gas in it. You know, you wouldn't let your car go too long without a checkup, whether that be for an oil change, a brakes check, tires need to be changed, you know, they wear down or they need to be rotated. And you all know to not run out of gas. In fact, even though we don't know that, Thomas and I have actually been stranded on the side of the road when we ran out of gas. This was years ago, and luckily we were together, but it's something I don't recommend. When that gas light comes on, it means something. It means you are going to eventually run out of gas, and I don't recommend it for your marriage. It's a fight that you don't want to have, and so you're just blaming each other as if you could solve it right then. So since that did happen to us, I'm like paranoid now of running out of gas. So I knew the other night that I had to stop and take care of this myself and not even get home for Thomas to take it the next day because I was going to run out of gas. But again, why is it so easy to know that and even think about it and maybe pre-plan for our cars to have regular maintenance and routine checkups, but we don't think about that or do that for our marriage and our relationships that we should put above even the nicest vehicles or whatever you have that you treasure, you know, if that's your baby and you take care of it. We should be doing that for our spouse or for our marriage and with our spouse. And so that just got me thinking as I was getting gas in the car of something I actually heard this week from Craig Rochelle, who's a well-known pastor of Life Church. And I think he's been married to his wife for over 40 years. And he just recently explained what they do for a marriage checkup. But first of all, I love that he said that they work on their marriage in non-conflict times. Because when you are not happy, that's usually when you're going to say stuff that you regret, and you're not going to have forward movement in conflict times. And that is something that Thomas and I really hone in on in our marriage coaching is forward movement. Yes, there's counseling out there, and we recommend that for past issues and struggles. But we love marriage coaching to come alongside you now, wherever you are, and have that forward movement, even going from good to better or bad to good. And so that's just not going to happen when you're in a heated conflict moment. So that's a side note. To work on your marriage in non-conflict times, be proactive about that. And so that's where Craig Rochelle and his wife have these marriage checkups. And what he said is the first thing he asked is, what are 3 things that I do that would be a blessing to you? And so Craig Rochelle said that the things his wife says there, the things that she admits that she likes, is often a lot different than what he thought that she likes. So it's a great opportunity to just ask the question, what are 3 things that I do that would be a blessing to you, that are a blessing to you? And they open up and you get to listen and really get to know them and what they like. And then there's a follow-up question in their marriage checkup that says, what's one thing I can do to love you better? And so if you notice, there were 3 positive feedbacks, and then you give the other person an opportunity to tell you what you're doing wrong, but you couch it in a positive way. And so, and if you do this in that non-conflict time, you'll actually listen better to their answers, and you're going to be more apt to apply it. And then, of course, you should switch and do it the other way, where the other spouse asks, what are 3 things that I do that would be a blessing to you? And what's one thing I can do to love you better? So that's Craig Rochelle's marriage check-in, which in my opinion allows you to speak directly about your spouse, to them, about them. And so I would say that's probably more of a weekly review, a weekly checkup. If you went a month with that method, I think it would actually be harder to answer the questions if a month went by. But if you did it daily, in my opinion, that would be like too mundane to ask such big questions. But maybe it's every Friday night or every Saturday, we're going to sit down and do our marriage checkup in this way, if you like that approach and that example. Another idea is something that Thomas and I teach in our marriage coaching, and we call it a daily dialogue. So we do it daily, but it's a little bit different. Instead of talking just about your spouse, taking turns that way, this is going to be talking about your relationship. It's a check-in on how you both did as one. And so you both still answer, but you should be giving good feedback that doesn't lead to an argument. Because again, just like Craig Rochelle said, this is a non-conflict time. This is a scheduled daily dialogue. Thomas and I do it at the end of the day, where we check in on how it went. Just like we shared last week on the episode about weekend expectations, you want to debrief your weekend so that you can have a better weekend the following week. So why not debrief your day and your relationship, what you liked and what you didn't like, so you could have a better tomorrow together. And so the 3 things that we asked during our daily dialogue is, number 1, what did you most enjoy about your relationship today? So an answer to that question might be that you sent encouraging text messages, or that you to each other, or that you talked over your lunch break. You're going to get 2 answers for each of the questions, because both the husband and the wife will give an answer, but it's about what you guys did together as one for the relationship. And so that was 1, what did you most enjoy about your relationship today? And so opposite of that is number 2, what was dissatisfying about your relationship today? So that might be, we were too rushed this morning and didn't get an adequate chance to say goodbye. And we need to work on that tomorrow, or we need to turn that around. And so it's more of like, got it, cool, okay, let's fix that. And then number 3 is, how can you be helpful to each other? So that is where you can look at maybe tomorrow's schedule. Thomas and I just did this today already, looked at the calendar. Okay, what do we have going on tomorrow? How can we be helpful to each other? And that might be, it'd be really helpful if you could pick up the kids tomorrow from school, because I need to get home early for this, or go to this appointment, or whatever would be helpful tomorrow in regards to the schedule. Or maybe it's a chore. Maybe it's, could you switch the laundry? Could you fold the towels? What would be helpful? That's something simple, but that would help relieve the stress of your spouse. Or maybe it's even, we need to plan a time to talk about a bigger topic. So this is just a quick daily dialogue. So you're asking what would be helpful. And it might be, it'd be helpful if we could set a day and time right now, because I'd like to talk about fill in the blank. But you're not bringing it up in this conversation, but you're planning a time for that bigger topic that you're going to sit down and be prepared for that. And then also another example of that may be that you want to share with your spouse is, it'd be really helpful if you could book a babysitter, then I can make reservations and we can pull off regular date nights. Whatever it is, it's just, number one, what did you most enjoy about your relationship today? 2, what was dissatisfying about your relationship today? And 3, how can you be helpful to each other? So no matter what it is, you won't know, and your marriage won't change without a regular checkup. So listen back to this with your spouse or send it to them and make sure you sit down and discuss it and determine what your marriage checkup looks like. Because here's 2 different examples, but you might have another idea. The point is you just need a marriage checkup. So discuss what does it look like for you and your relationship, and then what's realistic as like how often you're going to do it. But the point of sharing all this is you should have regular marriage checkups before your quote unquote check engine light comes on. That's what you do to your vehicle, and we all know that even when the gas light comes on, we're going to fill it up with gas. But you're still anticipating that light coming on. You know that that's going to happen. And same with oil change. You might have something on your dashboard that says the mileage or the date that you're going to do this. So why isn't a marriage checkup on your calendar to be anticipating to tune up your marriage if you need to? And if you need help with a tune-up, then that's why Thomas and I are marriage coaches. And we get to come alongside couples and help them through this. We do a free discovery call where we get on Zoom. You can meet us on video chat. You can see us. And it's about 45 minutes to an hour. And we go in that call and we can already determine with an exercise, what are your strength areas in your relationship? What is working well for you guys? And then what are growth areas? We don't like to call them weaknesses because we always see opportunity for growth. And so as you sit down and have a marriage checkup, maybe you're identifying those and then you can work on them. But if you need us, check out marriagepuzzle.com, schedule that free discovery call. Then you can know if marriage coaching is right for you guys. So either way, would you reach out to us in a direct message on social media, which is on Instagram or Facebook at Marriage Puzzle, and let us know if you did a marriage checkup. What does it look like? What's your structure? If you like Craig Rochelle's way or the daily dialogue, or did you have a new idea or example that we could share with other couples or even on our social medias? Because we are all in this together, learning how to, stick it out and take our marriages from good to great. And so let us know, or even the frequency of your marriage checkups, because that's something too with marriage coaching that we've heard from couples, that they love the accountability, that they're going to show up on that call with us usually every 2 or 3 weeks and have those check-ins and the exercises and the homework that we're going to give you guys to keep talking about this and keep those marriage checkups up. And so again, marriagepuzzle.com to schedule that free discovery call with us, or reach out on social media if you'd like to chat there, because we look forward to you joining us every week where together we'll work on marriage one puzzle piece at a time. See you later.